Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, the tarot cards are the Art Nouveau Tarot by Matt Myers. I've had this a long time. I'm going to say close to 30 years. I don't think you can find this anymore, but maybe. That's the information. This was before website. Well, I shouldn't say it was before websites. It was definitely before websites were popular. There's the information at the top. So if you're interested, that's the information for that tarot deck. Supportive Oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen Reich Baskin. Website on the back is, I believe, watkinspublishing.com. Should be right there at the bottom. Feel free to check that out if you're interested. And I also use dice. I use a 22-sided dice for the major arcana, substituting 22 for 0. For the Fool, I use a 14-sided dice for the minor arcana, and then I have a 4-sided dice that I use to choose the element for that minor arcana. All these came from the dice shop, which is mathartfun.com. Hopefully you can see that website if you're interested. Hopefully it shows up on camera. mathartfun.com. Okay, with that being said, if you would like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. This is James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and let's get into your read. Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Taurus? So the story seems like it's going to be a simple one. Don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that. There's confusion. People don't know what's going on. That confusion needs to be sorted out. Once it's sorted out, we can deal with things, and then we can go where we need to go. It's all about perception in this one. I don't think anything's really bad. I think it's all about people not understanding what's really going on, and the information needs to come together. If the information comes together properly, it can go well. I got the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands coming in here. So things have already happened. I'm getting that with the Ace of Wands. Things have already happened, but it's not just about what happened. It's kind of understanding why things happened. I do think this is a situation that continues on, but this does seem to need some diplomacy. And like when I was younger, I didn't understand this, but I kind of understand it better now that I'm older. You got to be careful how you talk to certain people, because it's almost like you say certain words or certain phrases or bring up certain people's names, and they get triggered, and all of a sudden they start taking the situation, and you're like, you spend so much time backtracking it and getting them to kind of like, wait, no, that's not what I was saying. I wasn't talking in that place. Even though that person's a part of that, this is not what was happening. This is what I'm trying to say. And it's kind of like, you got to figure a way to get ahead of the situation. Like before we have a bad reaction, I need to kind of like bring forward the positive information and then add in the details afterwards so people realize there's nothing bad going on, nothing we have to be worried about. I'm just filling in the pieces, like here's the story, and here I'm filling in the pieces with the details so you understand why the story formed the way it did. This seems very, very, very important for this situation, because you could end up with a lot more discord here later on than you really know what to do with, because you're only in control of you in this situation. And if people are having perceptions of things and they're hiding it, and they're adding in, like, you know, when people like, it's like Timmy hit the baseball and won the game. It's a simple sentence, right? But it's when people decide, like, Timmy, oh yeah, he hit that baseball, not before he like hit that other kid though, and he wouldn't have got that base if he, like, people add in like things, they add into the story, they create a story within the facts that really isn't true and distorts the whole thing. That's what we're trying to avoid here. Like, because I'm seeing that could happen here. Like, people taking a simple story and adding in their own flavoring, making it look like this nasty, horrible thing that really was never the case. Um, like, for example, I have to use another example. Okay. When somebody passes away and the will is read, and then maybe some people seem to get more than others, it's just how it worked out. People start adding in like what they think happened and why they think certain things happened. The truth might be, when somebody passes away, maybe the reason they left somebody else more than others is because they had been borrowing money from them their whole life, and they just felt like, this is my chance to pay that back. It could be somebody took care of them for many, many years, and they're like, this person like put their life on hold to help me end my life. So finish off the ending part of my life. I don't know, I didn't like the way that sounded. Like, when somebody has a disease or something. So they went through it, and they're like, because that person did that for me, I want to do this for them just to show that appreciation. But if people don't know those details, if people don't understand what was really going on, people add things in that shouldn't be there, and they feel slighted when maybe they shouldn't feel slighted. So whatever the situation is, there's a couple cards coming in. I like the prayer card. I feel like that's saying divine guidance trying to come in and trying to, help bring in some information or some help here that wouldn't normally be here. Like adding some more positivity that wasn't normally here. And I get there's confusion with this situation with the moon card, which the moon card and confusion go hand in hand. I'm saying that as a Pisces because the Pisces card is the moon card. It's trying to figure out why this happened, what's going on here, was this right, was that wrong? The moon card has a tinge of fear to it usually. Most people, especially if they don't know what's going on or they're unfamiliar with the area they're in when the moon is in the sky, a lot of fear can come in because you see shadows and things can seem like they're moving and you can't see things fully. So it can create a lot of fear that may not be warranted. If you could see things clearly, you wouldn't be afraid, but because you don't know what's going on and you're maybe not familiar with the situation, it can easily create a fear moment. So this prayer card is trying to bring some light of day to this, trying to bring forth some like understanding to what's going on here. You may also feel like you're kind of stuck with the situation. You may feel like some of this is unfair yourself. And some of this information might help you understand, oh, okay, that's why that happened. That's why this played out the way it did. That makes sense to me now. I see how it added up that way. I'm not saying you're going to be like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say, like, you'll understand, like, A plus B equals C. Like, I understand why. Doesn't mean you agree with it. I'm just saying you'll understand why. Because there's a lot of this. There's the possibility for a lot of healing with people not getting along. The Four of Cups, in this situation, it looks like people not getting along. A lot of times the Four of Cups is like there's a possibility for things to go better, but not wanting the option that you need to take, which could also be very applicable here. People don't want to talk it out. People don't want to. There's going to be people here who enjoy the discord. There are people like that. I mean, you know that. I don't think I'm shocking you with that information. Some people just live for the calamity. So by solving it or bringing in that healing energy, they might be just flat out against it for that reason because it takes away the drama. And some people just love the drama. But there's a potential for a really, really good healing moment here and sorting things out. Doesn't mean people are going to agree with why things worked out the way they did, but if at least they know the truth on why they worked out the way they did, that's something we can work with, Not everybody's going to like this. There's going to be people... I see mysticism. That's not a bad card, but the shadow aspects of it are telling me there's going to be people here who just want to keep ramping it up and just want to keep making it more dramatic than it really needs to be. Figuring out who those people are and trying to work around it best you can. So it's like there might be moments where everybody's together and then all of a sudden certain people just keep the fire going and try to put more wood on it to keep it burning brighter. You might have to wait and just kind of segregate off with people when possible and just kind of talk to them in a one-off in a one-off way. Like, it's not about liking it. It's just about, let's talk about what the actual facts are. Let's not get into the like it or dislike it part. Let's just solve what's actually here. Why this actually happened. Why A plus B equaled C. Let's just do that part. And then later we can talk about what we like and what we don't like. But let's get the full story with just the facts to start. And then we can deal with the other part after. But we need the facts to build from. And you might have to pull people to the side to do that. It does feel like it's a bit messy. People have their feelings about what they feel. Now, the next part of this is interesting to me. I don't know if it's good or bad. The cards aren't bad, but sometimes this talks about Aquarius. It doesn't have to. The Star card comes in a lot of different ways. I see it as highly intellectual, but the possibility for good things to happen that other people couldn't see also comes in with this card. The idea here, when this comes forward, when there's possibilities coming forward and people are starting to sort out, all the facts are in front of us and they're starting to talk about how they feel about it. At that point, they're saying, don't take a supportive role. Don't take a supportive role at that point. That's what I'm getting with this Page of Cups. They're saying that don't do that. That's not going to work out to your best benefit or everybody else's best benefit. The advice here is to show, like, you know what? This is how it worked out. And there's things here that were really good. We're not going to like everything. We don't need to, but we need to kind of cinch it up and solve it. We need to kind of work towards shutting it down. So, like, they're saying don't take that supportive role where however people feel, they feel, and you're just helping them get through it. Whatever the situation is, they're saying that's not going to make this work out well. Talk about what you like, what worked out well, and what you agree with, and then talk about, like, other things that maybe didn't. You're letting go. The art of letting go. Letting it go. It was what it was. It is what it is. We don't need to be creating more havoc with this situation. I'm accepting the outcome. I'm letting go. There's things here I like, things here that I don't. I'm being thankful for the things I like. I'm letting go of the things I don't. Your energy will highly influence other people. People see you as a leader in this aspect. If you're willing to put it down and let it go, I feel like other people are looking at this kind of like, well, I mean, if Taurus is... I feel like this energy around you, like people are like, well, if they're letting it go, I feel like I should let it go. I just keep getting that energy. I don't know if it's just your presence. Taurus has a very strong presence and can kind of influence that for other people. Not even meaning to, not like you're trying to, but the fact that you're like, you know what, I'm just going to accept this and I'm going to put that down. Thankful for what I did get. I'm going to let go of what I didn't, and I need to move forward with my life. You have a very strong presence. It's just being aware of it. If you're willing to do that, which is clearly up to you, right? People, they're gonna move forward, and I get that because it's kind of coming forward. Like, there seems to be a little bit of mystery here, but by you putting it down and letting it go, you're also, I feel like you're going to be going through an acceptance process. I also feel like you might keep that more private to yourself, which is fine. I don't see a problem with that. When I say more private to yourself, you may have people you trust that you talk it out with, but I feel like less is more. 1, 2 if you have to, but one person if you need to talk it out with, because I feel like if you want this energy to come down, and I feel like I want to kind of like start putting it away. You're going to go through the acceptance process that works for you. There's going to be question marks still left over afterwards. I feel like letting that be, because sometimes even though we can try to find answers to these question marks, even if we're really honest with ourselves, there's still question marks that answer the question marks. Like, we can get answers, but then it's kind of like, are those really the answers? I feel like the situation is meant to move on. It'll go a lot easier. The situation will come to a completion moment that way. And if it hits this completion moment, if it does go to that level, I'm getting the situation around becomes more loyal, there's more solidarity here. There is renewal here. There's things that can come back that maybe wouldn't have come back. So, for example, I use that analogy of a will. Maybe people were starting to like get annoyed with each other and like branching off and not dealing with each other anymore because they were so unhappy with how this worked out. By bringing that air of acceptance and bringing that energy together the way you are and bringing it to a total completion, because I feel like it will, maybe people who are starting to like, distance themselves from each other might come back together. It's kind of like the difference between maybe there's a chance for a couple family reunions a year, coming together once or twice a year, the whole family just to see each other, versus like if this doesn't come together, it's kind of like we might all just go our own ways, and that's just how it's going to be for the rest of this life. We're just not going to deal with each other. We're just going to know of each other, but not really deal with each other like a whole family anymore. Renewal is possible here. Granted, that's an analogy. It depends on what you're dealing with, but I feel like this could come back together in a way that without the acceptance, it won't. The acceptance leads to completion. The completions allows renewal. Without that acceptance, you don't get to completion. Without the completion, we don't get to renewal. I guess it all depends on how you feel about it. If you would enjoy that renewal, I feel like this makes perfect sense, and they're showing you how to make that happen. If that's for some reason not something that you really want to do for whatever reason, they're just putting that out there that, this would make that happen. If you don't want to have that happen, then you don't want to have that happen. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.